Thank you, everybody. I am not going to hold this off any longer and introduce Patrick Leonard.
And if Rick Shepard could come up and join me, please. The most challenging thing to arrange for today was the weather. But when you have a good partner like Rick Shepard, anything is possible. Braintree Mayor Charles C. Kokoros, Town of Abington Board of Selectmen Chairman Alex Haggerty, past District Governor Bill Tennant, Assistant District Governor Area 3 Joanne Tully, Assistant District Governor Area 6 Tina White, Rotary Club of Quincy President Margaret LaForest, distinguished guests, speakers, and members. My name is Patrick J. Leonard, Jr., honorary member and official club historian of the Rotary Club of Braintree. Rotary Club of Abington past President Rick Shepard and I are the coordinators of today's 80th anniversary celebration of the organization of the Rotary Club of Abington, which took place on October 26, 1943, 80 years ago today. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome everyone to Braintree today. Now, I would like to ask Abington Rotary Club past President Rick Shepard to ring the club's original bell, which the club has used since 1943, to start our anniversary celebration. A round of applause for the Abington Rotary Club. We are now in session. A few thank yous are in order as we begin. First, to Executive Director Wes Ray of BCAM TV and to BCAM TV technician Jerry Comack for making a video of today's ceremony for the home viewers. Braintree Historical Society past President Mr. Robert Harris and the Society's current President, Steve, if you could stand up please, Stephen Leonard, for all that they have done for the Braintree Rotary Club Historical Archive at the Society's Genealogical Library. A thank you to the Historical Society and a thank you to BCAM. Thank you to all of our speakers for being part of today's anniversary program honoring Abington's 80th anniversary of superior community service, fulfilling Rotary's motto of service above self. Rotary clubs start other Rotary clubs. The ancestor of them all is Rotary Club number 1, Chicago, Illinois, founded in 1905. The Quincy Rotary Club, of which Margaret is now the president, started the Braintree Rotary Club in 1923, and Braintree helped to start the Abington Rotary Club in 1943. Our 80th anniversary observance has 4 parts. And do we all have our programs? If Kelly and Peter, be sure that everyone has the programs, please. Our 80th observance has 4 parts. The first honors our armed forces veterans, both Rotarians and all who have served our nation in uniform. The service flags, which are on the stage, the flags of all the armed forces of the United States, and the United States flags on your tables, have been placed to honor the memory of every man and every woman who has served our nation in uniform in the past, those who have the honor of serving now, and all who will have the honor of serving in the future. They are the people to whom we owe our very existence as a nation. Part 2 of our program details how our libraries, and we are honored to have 3 library directors with us today, and their professional staff members help us all to remember and honor the people and events of the past by providing the historical records and guarding the historical records of our towns and cities and our Rotary clubs and making them available for research. The third part, which will be done by Rick Shepard, is the history of the Abington Rotary Club. Finally, official proclamations from the town of Braintree and our town of Abington honoring the Braintree Rotarians who guided the formation of the Rotary Club of Abington and narrating Abington Rotary's 8 decades of exemplary community service will be formally presented. We are also honored today to have another very special presentation, and that is from State Representative Alyssa Sullivan Almeida and her assistant, who are going to present a special certificate to the Abington Rotary Club. A special applause for our State Representative and her assistant. Everyone should now have an envelope which says, on the back, just turn it over, please. I hope that no one opened this. It says, please do not open until requested to do so during the program. You are now most cordially invited to open the envelopes. And if anyone opened the envelope before, don't tell me, okay? There are 3 items in your packet. A did you know about the history of the town of Braintree, a copy of Braintree's official proclamation, and the program booklet. Please take a look at your program booklet, the second page. The program booklets include records of Abington Rotary history and unique aspects of the history of the town of Abington. These are for you to read in the future. You will see, and again look at page 2 for the sequence of events. You will see the sequence of events in today's program on page 2. That's followed by the story of Braintree Rotarian Irving H. Smith, who helped to form the club, details of the club's early history, and photos and information about the 27 charter members. America's first sports superstar was world heavyweight boxing champion John L. Sullivan, the most famous professional athlete of the 19th and early 20th centuries. John L. lived in Abington for many years, and his home still stands there today, and one of our Abington Rotarians is a neighbor of that home. The Buffum automobile, the innovative luxury automobile, was made in Abington from 1894 to 1907. Herbert H. Buffum made the first 4-cylinder car ever made in history. His company was the first company ever to offer an 8-cylinder car and also a racing car for sale to the general public. In 1904, a Buffum, and you see pictures of 2 Buffums in your booklet, sold for $4,000. $4,000 in 1904 is the equivalent of about $140,000 today. That was a luxury car. Finally, you'll see photos of the 3 libraries to which we owe so very much for the preservation of our history: the Abington Public Library, the Dyer Memorial Library and Archive, and the Thayer Public Library, which is located right across the street from our town hall. Thank you all for being here today. Congratulations to every member of the Rotary Club of Abington, past and present, for 80 years of service above self to the town of Abington, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and through Rotary International, with 46,000 clubs and over 1.4 million members all around the globe, that the clubs have helped our nation and the nations of the world. Now, I'd like to introduce Mr. Vinnie Fontaine, United States Army, retired, the Veteran Service Officer of the town of Braintree, who will continue our program. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for your service in Rotary. The many officials who hold offices serving our public, our thanks to them for all that they do. And thank you all for being here today to help us celebrate the 80th anniversary of the Rotary Club of Abington, Massachusetts. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Honoring all, I'm going to say this wrong because I'm not one, I apologize. Rotarians who have served in the armed forces in the past, who have served now and who will serve in the future, and all veterans of the armed forces of the United States of America. Please stand if you hear your branch of service song playing.
For it's high, high,
like to now introduce Therese Stano.
Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone as we gather to celebrate the Abington Rotary Club and to reflect on the incredible vision and commitment of the many past Rotarians who came together to establish the Rotary Clubs such as Abington and Braintree. I am Terry Stano, Braintree Rotarian, Library Director, and a Braintree resident. You might be wondering what is the significance of the library and the Rotary Club. Today, we are celebrating a historic moment of towns that have developed and committed to maintaining a Rotary organization for 80 years or even 100 years, like the Braintree Rotary Club in Abington. These organizations that we all belong to change the lives of the people who live in our towns. Rotary Club values community and inspires past members and current members to give back to their communities and volunteer with the simple motto of service above self. Each town's Rotary Club contains a rich history and captures the essence of a community. Past Rotary members up to the present day form a community's heritage and identity. Just like their public library's historic newspapers contain a wealth of information and memories of their rich past, Rotary Clubs also have documents, booklets, and stories containing information and memories of their rich past. Since libraries, by their nature, are protective of historical records, this creates a natural partnership for the library to embark on a future project of preserving Braintree Rotary Club's history. Through the preservation project of both physical and hopefully one day digital, the library aims to create an archive that will be easily accessible to all who are interested in our deep roots. This future project would ensure that the stories of its club members, the club's evolution, and notable achievements are preserved for future generations who might be inspired by our legacy and continue to give back to their communities. We celebrate the founders and the members today who are committed to keeping their clubs viable and have a responsibility to preserve our club's history for future generations. I'm excited for this opportunity to launch a preservation project. Now I'd like to introduce a colleague of mine, Deb Grimmett, the director of the Abington Public Library. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. I'm Deb Grimmett, the director of the Abington Public Library, and I was honored to receive the invitation to join this celebration of the founding of the Rotary Club of Abington. As I was playing the latest New York Times online word puzzle, Connections, I was struck by the power and simplicity of the puzzle's name. Rotary Club members provide service to the community. Public libraries provide an accessible venue for collecting and sharing of local history materials, including the records of projects and endeavors completed for the benefit of the community by the Rotary Club. The local history collection at the Abington Public Library is housed in the Burton L. Wales Room, which is named for a prominent Abington resident who was an elected trustee of the public library from 1927 to 1983 and was the board chair from 1940 to 1978. Mr. Wales was also a charter member of the Rotary Club of Abington and was sworn into the club 80 years ago today. The connection between library service in Abington and the Rotary Club began at the club's inception. One of the items which can be found in the Wales Room is 50 years of service to the community, 1943 to 1983, the history of the Abington Rotary Club's first 50 years. As I was reading this, I noticed that as time crept forward into the 1980s, I began recognizing the names of Rotarians mentioned in this history. My own connection to Abington and the Rotary Club began in 1986 when I became the children's librarian. The children, or grandchildren of many of the members mentioned in this history were my story hour kids in the 80s and 90s. I became the library director in 2008, and in 2016, the Rotary Club of Abington approached the library about an opportunity to honor 2 members who had passed away. At the time, the library's study rooms were in desperate need of a refurbishment, including painting the rooms, replacing and updating the furniture, and adding wall-mounted whiteboards and a plethora of pens for the tutors who worked with Abington students in those rooms. Study rooms also provide a quiet haven for adult students, small study groups, and business people. The pandemic and the proliferation of work from home has seen an increase in the library users who benefit from the generosity of the Rotary Club. The 2 members honored by the Rotary Club of Abington in 2016 were Harold Sims and Stanley Hurwitz. The Abington Rotary has supported the library for many years with other generous donations, including providing a museum pass for patron use. The Rotary also replaced the tables in our large meeting room, the Copeland Room, in 2018. As one of the primary table movers, it was wonderful to finally have tables with wheels, so much easier to move. I'm happy to report that the tables are still in perfect condition, and as recently as Tuesday night, someone at a book club meeting said, "Wow, these are really great tables." Supporting disparate library services provides a connection, not only to the public library as an institution, but more importantly, to the members of the community who benefit from the kindness of the Rotary Club. The last connection I've discovered is a personal one, and Mr. Leonard urged me to mention this. When we were speaking last week, I mentioned that my mom grew up in Braintree. Her maiden name was Yale Griffin, and she graduated from Braintree High School in 1954. I told Mr. Leonard that my mom's grandfather owned Cutcliffe's Market, which I've discovered is still a recognizable landmark for longtime Braintree residents. Mr. Leonard told me that my great-grandfather, Lawrence Cutcliffe, was a founding member of the Braintree Rotary Club. Beyond knowing that he was a Spanish-American war veteran, I know very little about Lawrence, as he passed away a few years before my mom was born. I had no idea when Terry Stano initially asked me about attending this event that I would discover so many connections, including one to my own family history. I appreciate your time and thank the Braintree Rotary Club for the hospitality and congratulate the Abington Rotary Club on 80 years of service to our community. Now, I'm happy to introduce my colleague, Merlin Liberty, who is the Executive Director of the Dyer Memorial Library and Archives in Abington.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say it is a delight and an honor to be here this afternoon celebrating the 80th anniversary of the Abington Rotary chapter. Over the past 8 decades, this noble organization has touched countless lives in the town of Abington and adjacent communities. And with the program that Deb showed to the audience here, we were able to discover just how deep the tentacles, and I mean those in a good way, Rotary has affected all of these local communities. It's astonishing. For the past 92 years, the Dyer Memorial Library and Archives has been collecting, protecting, studying, displaying, and sharing information about the residents and events of an area called Old Abington that now comprises the 3 towns of Abington, Rockland, and Whitman. When Rick Shepard, the past president of the Rotary Club of Abington, approached us to find out information about the charter members for this celebration, we thought this was going to be easy peasy. We have thousands of biographical folders about residents of the 3 towns. Turns out we were wrong, but what happened was a blessing because we were able to dig deeply into the people, the charter members, and find out how remarkable they were. And that only served to enrich our collection and the knowledge of everything that happens in our communities. We have an opportunity to share this information with anyone who asks us about it, and with that, it allows us again to reach even further deeper into the community to gather yet more information. I want to also acknowledge Eileen Walls, who's not here today. She's one of my staff members, and she's the person who actually did all of the research to share about the charter members. It was a lot of effort, and we are thrilled to have her at our organization. There are two takeaways I'd like everyone to go with regard to your history of your club. It's up to you to help preserve this information. It's your legacy. If you want anyone to know about how wonderful this organization it is, you need to collect it and you need to share it not only with your local history organization like the Braintree Historical Society or the Braintree Public Library or any other local history organization. If they don't have this information, we can't share it with the rest of the world. And that's what our purpose is. To the members of this remarkable chapter, the Abington Rotary Club, and all the others, I don't mean to slight you, I commend you on your commitment, dedication, and unwavering passion. Your tireless values to uphold the values of Rotary, service above self, have transformed lives, created opportunities, and fostered a spirit of unity and understanding. I really only learned about Rotary from this project. I knew that they were a service organization, but this was truly a magnificent learning opportunity for me. In closing, let me just say again, congratulations to the Abington Rotary Club on their 80th anniversary. And with that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Richard Shepard, the past president of the Abington Rotary Club.
Thank you, Merlin. Greetings from the Abington Rotary Club to our fellow Rotarians and our special guests from Abington, Deb Grimmett, Merlin, Alex, and Allison. Thanks for our friends from the Braintree Rotary Club for graciously hosting today's celebration of our 80th anniversary. Before I go any further, I want to take a moment to recognize the tremendous work that has been done by Patrick Leonard in organizing today's event. Without his organizational skills, attention to detail, and obvious love of our Rotary history and mission, then this event simply would not have happened. Please join me for a richly deserved round of applause for Patrick. Okay, so stick with me. We've got 80 years to get through and not much time. U.S. government statistics tell us that the average life expectancy here in the U.S. is 76 years for a man, 81 years for a woman. So it's statistically accurate to say that what we're talking about here today is an event that happened a lifetime ago. So what was happening in 1943 besides the organization of the Abington Rotary Club? First and foremost, the world was in the midst of the Second World War. It had been almost 2 years since the United States had entered the war following Japan's attack at Pearl Harbor. As a young man, my father enlisted in the Navy and served during the war, so our connections to this time are still relevant, and we appreciate today's opportunity to recognize our veterans. In February of 1943, the Soviet Union, an ally at that time, had defeated the German forces in the Battle of Stalingrad, a key victory for the Allied forces. D-Day, the largest seaborne invasion in history, and a turning point in the war, was just 8 months away. The Allies were turning the tide. Back home, the New York Yankees won the World Series in 5 games. The Red Sox, led by Hall of Fame second baseman Bobby Doerr, finished the season at 68 and 84, a mere 29 games behind the Yanks. It would be only 61 more years before the Sox would erase the curse of the Bambino, but we were there to see it. A gallon of milk cost 60 cents, a loaf of bread 9 cents, and gas was 15 cents a gallon. In the summer of '43, 3 Abington businessmen, Lloyd Hathaway, S. Parker Hatch, and George Wheatley, were engaged in discussions of establishing an Abington Rotary Club with Irving Smith from the Braintree Club. The planning and organization proceeded quickly. On September 16th, Special Representative Smith submitted his extension survey report to Rotary International, attesting to his personal visit to Abington and documenting the following. Abington was a friendly and growing community with good economic conditions that had no existing service clubs similar to Rotary. Community spirit was noted as the town's greatest community need on the survey report. 80 years ago today, a provisional Abington Rotary Club was organized with 27 charter members, each representing a different business or professional service as required by Rotary International at the time. The provisional club included businessmen from the banking, insurance, shoe and textile industries, as well as a barber, a farmer, a grocer, a lawyer, and the pastor of the First Baptist Church. On November 4th, District Governor Philip Feiner of the Providence Rotary Club submitted his letter of recommendation, noting for several years Irving Smith had contact with some of the men in Abington, and in September of this year he interested a group of them and did some fine missionary work in organizing them. The organization meeting was a fine, organized event and resulted in the provisional club. The club should do a fine job and make progress. I found District Governor Feiner's choice of words interesting in referring to Irving Smith's work as missionary in nature. I guess the takeaway is that those who were not Rotarians were in need of something akin to a religious conversion. On November 26, 1943, Rotary International Secretariat certified to the Board of Directors that Abington's application was in its proper form and that the $100 charter fee had been paid. The club was recommended for admission and was formally chartered days later. A charter night celebration was held at the Abington High School auditorium on December 15th. According to the Brockton Enterprise News Report, 16 clubs attended the charter night, all bearing gifts. A few of those gifts included a banner from the Braintree Club, Rotary songbooks from Cohasset, and you should be very pleased to know that I'm not going to lead you in song today. A gavel from Plymouth, and from District Governor Feiner of Providence, the club bell. Some of the club's original artifacts have been lost over the years, but our members are continuing their efforts to dig through our archives in hopes of identifying and preserving more of these charter gifts and other club artifacts. Thanks again to Patrick and the Braintree Club for providing us the incentive to start this process, and for the Dyer Memorial Library's gracious offer to archive and preserve them. So what has Abington Rotary Club been up to for the past 80 years? It's not possible to recite a comprehensive list of all the things that we've done in the time that we have today, any more than it would be possible to list all of the things that the Braintree Club has done since its inception. But I think it's fair to say that District Governor Feiner's prediction that our Abington Club should do a fine job and make progress was prophetic. Over the years, we have sponsored a Little League team every year since 1951. This is the last year that team sponsors' names were on the front of the jerseys, so we knew right away that these were going to be collector's items, and managed to get our hands on them. But it wasn't easy because those kids are really fast. We sponsored the Rockland Hanson Rotary Club's formation in 1965, constructed the press box at Memorial Field, repaired and reconstructed the Girl Scout building at Island Grove Park, and contributed extensively in constructing the Memorial Field snack bar. I would be remiss if I didn't note the leadership and expertise of our late member Jim Batson in those efforts. 40 years ago, we started donating tree saplings or tree seedlings to grammar school students on Arbor Day to be replanted and sustain our town's green canopy, something that we're still doing today. We were proud to see Abington's Sam Hurwitz become district governor in 1995. Over the years, Abington Rotary has supported Abington High School athletic programs and many other high school groups, has provided annual scholarship awards, has hosted and sponsored foreign exchange students, has made equipment donations to the Abington Police and Fire Departments, and has supported the Dominican Republic Hospital and Guatemalan water well projects. We have generously supported the Abington and Whitman food pantries, Father Bill's homeless shelters, and the veteran services organizations in Abington and Whitman. While all of these efforts are certainly worthy of note, they are by no means unique. They are precisely the kinds of things that Rotary clubs like Abington and Braintree and 46,000 other clubs around the world have done and continue to do every single day. So what is it that makes the Rotary message enduring? The organization of the Abington Rotary Club may have happened a lifetime ago, but Rotary's enduring values sustain it. Rotary's motto, service above self, is elegant, both in its simplicity and its message. Public service, the search for peace throughout the world, the cure of the scourge of polio, these are enduring goals and commitments and accomplishments. Somebody standing here 20 years from now at Abington's centennial anniversary event will be able to speak to these same kinds of Rotary commitments and values. And it would be a mistake to fail to mention the fellowship with which we are blessed as a result of our Rotary Foundation or association. The fundamental characteristics of a Rotary Club, as defined in Abington's 1943 application, included the requirement that members strive for the betterment of their craft and stressed higher business standards and practices. Today we call that business ethics, something that often seems in short supply. These characteristics further included service to humanity and the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace. And last but by no means least, fellowship in the establishment of lasting friendships. Had I not joined the Abington Rotary Club, then I would not have met and known some of the fine men and women that I count as my friends today. I'm sure all of our Braintree Rotarians have had the same experience. So in closing, thanks once again to the Braintree Rotary Club for getting us started 80 years ago and for hosting today's event. We look forward to working with you for the next 80 years and beyond to further our common Rotarian goals and aspirations. Thank you. And with that, I would like to invite Assistant District Governor and Brockton Club President Tina White.
Good afternoon. I am very proud to be here, and I would like to thank the Braintree Rotary Club and Patrick for inviting me today. I am here on behalf of the district 7950 and our district governor, Angela Ponte, who is away on business. And I would just like to commend all of the members of the Abington Rotary Club for all of their years of service. It is my pleasure to be their assistant governor this year. It's my first year as assistant governor, so they've been easy on me so far. But, you know, there's still time. So I am here to present a certificate of appreciation from the district on behalf of your 80 years of service to the community of Abington and to District 7950. So, Rick, if I could have you come up so I could present this. and it's my pleasure to introduce, and I'm going to butcher your last name, and I apologize, Honorable Charles Koukouros, the mayor.
Welcome, everybody. I just wanted to, first of all, thank the Abington Rotary Club for being here today. It's such a pleasure to have you as our guest. And for me personally, I have some great connections to Abington, some very personal and tragic memories, but nonetheless, we're coming up on the 5th anniversary of the loss of my nephew, who was an Abington police officer. We lost 5 years ago on the 29th to suicide. And Abington will always have a special place in my heart because of his service to the Abington community. Today is a wonderful day, and Mr. Leonard is one of the finest historians here in our town, and he has so much information that we constantly try to record it so that we can keep up with it. And he finds a way of putting events together on the exact date of the anniversary. And I can't say enough good things about him. And he has been such a great asset to our community and to our community's history. So without further ado, I just want to thank you for putting this together. Pat, you're a great citizen of Braintree and statesman. Thank you.
Well, I certainly do appreciate that, but I don't work alone on these events by any means. And Mayor Koukouros has issued a proclamation honoring the anniversary of the Abington Rotary Club. And if you would take it out of your packets right now, there's a copy you will see of the proclamation that I'm going to read. And Mayor Koukouros is going to read the final part. Whereas Paul P. Harris founded Rotary Club No. 1 in Chicago, Illinois on February 23, 1905, with the mission of fostering superior ethical standards in the workplace, developing mutual respect and good fellowship among business and professional people, providing high-quality community service, and taking as its motto, service above self. And whereas the Rotary Club has been known as Rotary International since 1922, and today has over 46,000 clubs with over 1.4 million members in over 200 nations and geographic areas. And whereas many of the Rotary clubs which have come into existence since the first Rotary Club was formed in 1905 can trace their origins back to the leadership of one dynamic individual who assembled a small group of civic-minded people, each of whom saw the need for an organization which would have as its members the business and professional leaders of a community who shared the values and goals of Rotary International and who would work together to provide community service, which became the organizing committee whose efforts resulted in the establishment of a new Rotary Club. It is of historical importance to recognize, honor, and perpetuate the memory of the service of such individuals. And whereas, under the sponsorship of the Rotary Club of Braintree, with the guidance of Rotary International District 198, Governor Philip A. Finer's Special Representative, Braintree Rotarian Irving H. Smith, who led and coordinated the efforts of a committee from the town of Abington, including S. Parker Hatch, Charles M. Frolio, Everett R. Peterson, William A. Robbins, John P. Smith, and Harry Witherall, the Rotary Club of Abington was organized on October 26, 1943, and received its Rotary International Charter from District Governor Finer on Charter Night, December 15, 1943. And whereas, as part of the observance of the 80th anniversary of the founding of the Rotary Club of Abington is holding an 80th anniversary celebration at the meeting of its sponsoring club, the Rotary Club of Braintree, at the Braintree Town Hall on Thursday, October 26th. And witness in memory of Rotarian Irving H. Smith, who passed away on April 19, 1945, while serving as Vice President of the Rotary Club of Braintree and as one of the chief organizers of the Rotary International District 198 Convention, which began in Braintree on that day, the day of his passing, and to honor his service to the Rotary Club of Braintree, the Rotary Club of Abington, the people of those communities, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and our nation, and through Rotary International, the nations of the world.
Now, therefore, I, the Honorable Charles C. Kokoris, Mayor of the Town of Braintree in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Town Charter of Braintree, do hereby proclaim Thursday, October 26, 2023, as Braintree Rotarian Irving H. Smith Day in Braintree. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand in the executive offices of Braintree Town Hall on this 24th day of October in the year 2023, and in the year of incorporation of the Town of Braintree 383. Signed by myself, Charles C. Kokoris.
Now, Tammy, if you could come up representing Braintree, and Rick, if you could come up representing Abington, please. Okay, let's just go up front and present these. Okay. Okay. Up front. Okay, in front. Okay. Yeah, right in front of the podium. Yeah. And this one is for Rick. Okay. Okay. Rick has another commitment and he has to leave, but before he leaves, I want to thank him for all that he has done. A big round of applause for Rick Shepard. Thank you, Rick. Now I'd like to introduce State Representative Alyssa Sullivan Almeida, 7th Plymouth District, representing Abington, East Bridgewater, and Whitman, and her legislative aide, Catherine Mullen, and they have a very special presentation for the Rotary Club of Abington. And could the person who's standing in for Rick please come forward?
Good afternoon, and I promise I will be brief. Most politicians, I don't think, are ever brief, right? I do want to say congratulations to Abington on their 80th anniversary. When you think back 80 years, I think to my grandfather, who was a World War II Marine veteran, 17 years old, enlisting 80 years ago, and to think of the service that he gave to our community and what you guys do every single day. I know, Ms. Hill, you're talking about giving back to our veterans next week, right? Or 2 weeks away, I think, at this point. Thank you. Thank you for everything, the support you have given so many throughout our town. We've had some catastrophic events, I would say, and you all have stepped up. So thank you so much, and thank you to Braintree for allowing us to be here. And to the mayor, your nephew is somebody that we miss tremendously, and he is always in our thoughts and our prayers, and your family as well. Alex is a space that we can never fulfill and refill. And the men and women of our Abington Police Department think about him daily, and they carry his legacy and his honor every single day in the work that they do. So I appreciate you and your family and the service and sacrifices that you have given to our town of Abington. I do have a citation here by the House of Representatives. I won't read it just because it is a little bit longer than expected, but it is in a sense to congratulate Abington on their 80th anniversary. And we give out these citations for big events like this, and it is such an honor to represent Abington, my hometown, where I still live and I still grow up. And congratulations on being a grandfather. I am actually a mother to a newborn 2-month-old. So I'm raising my daughter in the beautiful town of Abington, and I look forward to having her out and meeting all of you because you have done such great work. So congratulations, and congratulations to you all, and thank you so much. Do you want me to introduce them? I didn't know if you wanted me.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Alex Haggerty, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen of the town of Abington, who also has a special presentation in honor of the 80th anniversary of the Rotary Club of Abington.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having us here, and to the Rotary Club of Braintree, and also to the Rotary Club of Abington. Thank you for your years of devoted service and dedicated service to the town of Abington, and everything that you do. To piggyback off of a little bit of what Allison was saying, as the grandson of a World War II veteran who served in the 82nd Airborne in World War II, I appreciate your service, and thank you for everything that you've done and put your life on the line for us, and that you continue to do every single day and serving our community. I'm very, very honored. Rick Shepard asked me to be here. I'm very honored to be here. The Abington Board of Selectmen, we issuing proclamations, and we felt this was so important for the Rotary Club of Abington celebrating 80 years. So I am going to read the proclamation because I feel it is very, very important to our community and a good celebration. Proclamation, Rotary Club of Abington. Whereas Paul P. Harris founded Rotary Club No. 1 in Chicago, Illinois, on February 23, 1905, with the mission of fostering superior ethical standards in the workplace, developing mutual respect and good fellowship among business and professional people, providing high-quality community service, and taking as its motto, service above self. And whereas the Rotary Club became known as Rotary International in 1922, and under the sponsorship of the Rotary Club of Braintree, with the guidance of District 198 Governor Philip A. Finer's Special Representative, Braintree Rotarian Irving H. Smith, who worked with an organization committee with Abington including S. Patrick Hatch, Charles Frolio, Everett R. Peterson, William A. Robbins, John Smith, and Harry Witherall. The Rotary Club of Abington was organized on October 2nd, 1943, and chartered by Rotary International on November 30th, 1943. Charter President William A. Robbins received the club's charter from District Governor Finer at the Charter Night ceremony held at Abington High School on Monday, December 15th, 1943. Whereas Charter President Robbins was joined in charter membership by Vice President Lloyd A. Hayweather, Secretary George D. Wheatley, Treasurer Edward H. Snyder, Sergeant-at-Arms S. Parker Hatch. Directors Deerwood Newman, Stanley D. Foster, Henry Holman, Jr., and charter members H. Palmer Blake, Benjamin W. Farnham, Charles H. Fitzpatrick, Anthony F. Goronsky, Archie C. Gilman, James Burrell Keith, Dr. Mark Lydon, Reverend Arnold Rossier Pennern, Everett R. Peterson, Ray Norton Pike, John S. Robertson, Gordon C. Sanders, Gordon C. Henderson, Harold Sanderson, John A. Shea, John P. Smith, Elliot D. Thompson, Lawrence M. Turner, Joseph A. Uto, and Burton L. Wales. And whereas part of the observance of the 80th anniversary of its founding, the Rotary Club of Abington is holding an 80th anniversary celebration at the meeting of its sponsoring club, the Rotary Club of Braintree, at Braintree Town Hall on Thursday, October 26, 2023. And whereas in recognition of the superior community service provided by the Rotary Club of Abington, its officers, directors, and members, throughout its 8 decades of service to people of the town of Abington, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, our nation, and thorough Rotary International, the nations of the world. And now, therefore, it be resolved that the Board of Selectmen of the town of Abington in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, by virtue of authority vested in us by the Town Charter of Abington, do hereby proclaim Thursday, October 26th, as Rotary Club of Abington, 8 decades of service in Abington. Signed by your Abington Board of Selectmen, Alex Haggerty, Chairman, Kevin Donovan, Suzanne Justberg, Kevin DiMaggio, and Tim Chapin. Thank you for your years of service.
You're going to ring it to close the presentation. No, you can, yeah, of course. I think everyone has had their fair share of Rotary history today and proclamations. If you need any more, we're sending them home with you. So, want to reread those, go for it. Again, I thank everybody for their time today and being here. This is what it's all about. My friend Linda over here is waving a contractor bag at me because she would love for you to give her your empty water bottles. We lovingly make fun of her and call her our tree hugger here, but we love her for that. So please help our tree hugger friend. Again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, and congratulations to the Abington Club. Again, we're looking forward to our next 80 years with you as well. So thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.